recite 1,000 salawat, please? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. First and foremost, I'd like to welcome all of you for being here. Thank you actually for being here. This is an exciting event for us, especially because it being the first ever joint event within two youth groups from two different places, and in fact 3 youth groups. And in fact, when we started, it was with 2, and then when other groups saw that there was an effort to unite all the community throughout New Jersey, more organizations such as Al-Bad Student Association for Workers and Al-Zahra Youth also came forward, and they said they wanted to be a part and they wanted to do their part and help out. And it just so fits that the topic today is unity. And we picked that because we think that if we can unite the youth and make it a stronger youth, then we can transcend that into a stronger, united community overall, inshallah. So that is our goal, that is our plan, and we thank all of you for being here. Mana Muhammad Azvi is on his way. He did Zahar and Asr there, so he'll be joining us shortly. But in the meantime, we'll get the schedule, we'll get the program going since we do have a cutoff at 4 p.m. To start off, we'll have 4 short surahs: Rehan, Fatima, Musa, and Mehreen. So, and Yusuf, right? So Fatima, do you want to go first? Okay. Oh, Rehan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim. Ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul a'udhu birabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas, min sharril waswasil khannas, alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas, min al-jinnati wan nas. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal asr, innal insana fi khusr, illa alladhina amanu wa salahat wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul a'udhu birabbil falaq, min sharri ma khalaq, wa min sharri ghasiqin idha waqab, wa min sharri naffathati fil 'uqad, wa min sharri hasidin idha hasad. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Close birabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas, min sharril waswasil khannas, alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas, min al-jinnati wan nas.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Li'ilafi Quraysh, ilafihim rihlat رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف.
One loud salawat for all 5 of these things, please. We're trying out a new thing once the lecture is going. Usually we have index cards circulating for questions or notes that you want to put down at the end of the program. Today we're trying out something different. Let's see how it works out. We all know you guys have cellular devices with you. So if you have any questions during the lecture, you can simply text it to this anonymous number. It's a Google number, and we'll have all questions compiled onto one phone, and we'll hand them over to the Malanas, and then they can answer them. So during the program, or in the Q&A session towards the end of the program.
High-tech or high-tech.
Yeah. In the case that you do not have a cell phone, we will have like index cards and pens circulating if you let us That is it for announcements, and I'm going to hand it over to, phones. So last year in Muharram, or 2 years ago rather, with actually Maulana Muhammad Rizvi, we started this. For the first time ever, we did English poetry. We did a poetry slam, but Muharram themed. And I think it inspired a lot of people back then, and we're going to continue that today. So we'll have 3 poems, Hassan, Shuja, and Shubair. So first I'd like to request Hassan.
They're written by them.
Yeah, they're written by them.
Excellent.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alright, so this is a small poem I wrote. I want to share some of that mine. Oh yeah, I was sitting there one day, and I don't know, it was a pretty simple thought. I just think random things sometimes. I was drinking a glass of water, and I started to think about that water, and this came to me. As I sat there with the glass in my hand, I started to think. And then I began to realize how powerful it is, this liquid that I drink. Who would have thought that a simple combination of 3 atoms would form a substance nearly impossible to fathom? I stare at this mystical liquid and I realize, dang, this stuff has torn down civilizations. And here I am drinking it, such a dangerous combination. Most of me is made of it, but against it I'm still so weak. Who would have thought that this thing could drive me crazy with something as simple as a leaf? Yet it saves me from strife and takes me into its care. Talk about multi-purpose, stuff is everywhere. If it could talk, it would tell you about the beginning of time. Because if you want history, then this is a gold mine. It shapes our world today just as easily as you or I could shape clay. From photosynthesis and erosion to respiration and even combustion. Not a single corner of this wet globe is unaffected by this miracle. There's a word reserved for people who think messing with stuff is cool. If I can remember with this lump of fat and what do you know, water, then I believe the word I'm looking for is fool. Then I look back at the seemingly uninteresting piece of glass of water, and I notice something else. The ease at which I got this water. I didn't have to ride through an army like the flag bearer. I didn't have to prevent myself from quenching my thirst, because I have no master that needs to be relieved first. I didn't have to move the water to my left hand, nor after that to my mouth, because for me, there's always a much easier route. I didn't have to become a martyr trying to transport this water, because I wasn't on a mission to bring it to my master and his daughter. Now every time I consume this wonderful phenomenon, I think of my master and what his sacrifice was based upon. If this beautiful creation has the power to bring life to earth, this earth that was once a barren crater, then I wonder, what about the Creator? Now every time I consume this wonderful phenomenon, I think of my master and what his sacrifice was based upon. If this beautiful creation has the power to bring life to earth, this earth that was once a barren crater, then I wonder, What about the Creator?
Assalamualaikum. So this is a poem that I had come up with a while ago. It's the only thing that I had complete enough for that. Bismillah. Sometimes the weakest light can be the strongest cause for hope when surrounded by an ocean of darkness. On occasion, words ignite to help my spirit cope with the burdens of striving for greatness. As my blood flows a foaming turbulent froth, an emotion impedes my happiness. The path shimmers and glows, coated with a silky cloth, and imaginations distract my weariness. I toil and tumble down the slippery slope, unaware of the imminent dangers. The earth begins to rumble, the fiercest foe of hope jumps out and exploits my angers. The greatest enemy appears in the corner of my mind, silently lurking in the shadows. He mocks and he leers as I fall into his bind, and my screams are lost in the echoes. Sometimes the weakest light can be the strongest cause for hope. Sometimes the weakest light can be the strongest cause for hope when surrounded by an ocean of darkness. On occasion, words ignite to help my spirit cope with the burdens of striving for greatness. There's malice in the air, a frightening beast awakes. As I pray to Allah for my protection, doubt creeps into the lair, or what a form it takes, like the mirror shows me my reflection. How can anyone say prayers aren't answered when words can manifest into beauty? Once fallen astray, like an oil-soaked bird, we cannot fly from the heavy impurity. In the grasp of doubt, my sincere wish was granted, and I was spared from the fires of justice. Now it's my time to shout, praise of the most exalted, for guiding me back into his graces. Sometimes the weakest light can be the strongest cause for hope when surrounded by an ocean of darkness. On occasion, words ignite to help my spirit cope with the burden of striving for greatness.
Respected Maulanas, dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. The following is a short poem that I compiled in honor of the Shahada Karbala. The title of the poem is in Farsi, so you'll understand as it goes on. The title is Baraya Shuma Hazal Dafe. I'd like you to just pay attention because there's a lot of metaphors that are inside. The brilliance of 1,000 suns shone down on the blazing plains of Karbala on the few companions that still remained. Abu Samama looked up squinting. The sun was nearing Zohar, so he ran sprinting. Ya Mola, Ya Hussein, it's time to pray. Hussein smiled and sent Habib to ask Yazid's army to delay. Can you imagine the conditions? They had to carry out God's mission and follow his every command. But how could they pray when all they had was sand? Water, water everywhere, but not a single drop, not even for prayer did the enemy spare. Who will stand watch over you, O Hussein? You must pray, but if you do, their arrows will slice through the air and strike you down in your prayer. Zahir finally realized while he was there, his presence, his body, his life was there to spare, so Hussein wouldn't miss a single prayer. A tear streamed down his face as he stood in the open space between the enemy and his imam's place. And for a moment, he could feel his heart being lifted by God's grace. He could feel the touch of Kawthar on his face. Oh Lord, I bear witness under your gaze that I defended your imam with every fiber of my strength. So Lord, accept this as my praise. With the twang of the first arrow, his life flashed back to last night's sorrow.
These warriors overheard Zainab ask, "O Hussein, are your fighters really up to the task? Do you really think they will stay with you to the very end? And are their intentions pure, or are they just here as friends?" Tears welled up in that lion's heart, the one who ripped the battlefield apart. This Abbas sprinted to the others' tents and told his brothers of this event. Together these soldiers marched to Zainab, rushed into her tent with their swords drawn. Habib spoke, "Zainab, we know what's going on. You don't trust our swords and our hearts. You don't know if we'll stay with Agha Hussein once the battle starts. Zainab, we're here to quell your fears and to make our intentions clear. We're here till our heads adorn the enemy's spears, till our bodies are separated from our souls, till the arrows bore holes, till the swords take our heads, till these sands are dyed every shade of red, till we achieve death. We will stand by Hussein to our last breath." Then a statement was uttered that shook humanity. At first, it was regarded as insanity. "For you, O Hussein, 1,000 times over. Baraye Shema Hazar Dafe." Haven't you all heard the Prophet say, "Hussein minni wa ana min al-Hussein"? He is from me and I from him. How dare we let our Prophet's son die, grandson die, before we ourselves bid this world goodbye? What type of injustice would it be to see Hussein in pain and ourselves free? For you, O Hussein, 1,000 times over. "Zainab, tell me, what do you see?" said Abbas. "Answer me." "This chest is naught else but a shield, and this heart is my battlefield. These hands are naught else but the servants of my Mola. Were it not that they were of service to him, I would have no need of them. Zainab, we'd rather die on our feet than live on our knees. We'd rather be tossed into the unforgiving seas before we witness our Mola feeling the slightest of unease. How dare we let him, Yazid, go free? The one who takes free from freedom, becomes king, takes this and turns all of it into his kingdom. No, we shall fall 1,000 times. We shall die 1,000 times. We will cry 1,000 tears, but we will never turn our backs onto you. May I be killed. My blood spilled, my body cut into pieces and turned into ashes. I'd rather see my own throat slashed for you, O Hussein, 1,000 times over. If I'm resurrected and subjected to this 1,000 times again and again, my entire body, my every vein would say, for you, O Hussein, 1,000 times over. Hussein, love for me needs to be pure. Your heart is my domain. There can be no room for anyone else's love, but my love is there. So I must cleanse your heart of this world, so be ready to part. All must go to achieve true piety, and you must be all mine, Hussein, and I, all yours in entirety. Yes, Hussein, even Ali Azhar, especially Ali Azhar, everything must go before your heart can sing Allahu Akbar. My Lord, my grandfather came on Miraj and was an arrow's throw away. This Karbala is my Miraj, my spiritual journey to attaining your love, and the distance between you and me, Ya Rab, is the distance of an arrow's throw, but the arrow is Hormuz, and in between is my baby. This is what I have to give in order for Islam to live, and I happily give it all up for you, O my Lord. 1,000 times over, I will die under the sword. For you, O my Lord, 1,000 times over. Baraye Shema Hazar Dafe, Ya Allah. May I die 1,000 deaths in your name, for you 1,000 times, my Lord. The passing of this world is now, the love of this world is now a passing blur. With the passing of Abbas and Ali Azhar, my soul is shattered, and the shards, I take these shards and I present them to the heavens' guards. The way they cry, it seems to me they don't understand why I chose to die. The love of this world has been erased, and the love of your name written, engraved, and stamped onto my heart. Baraye Shema Hazar Lafi. For you 1,000 times, for you, O my Lord, 1,000 times over. And with that, my brothers in Islam, wassalam.
Thank you, Shuja, Hassan, and Shabir for those beautiful poems. let's recite one loud salawat for their verse. Up next we have a new organization that has just recently started. It's called Rising Prize, and a representative, Brother Amir, is going to just talk about it for 2 minutes and just introduce the organization.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I don't want to take much of your time, just real quick. It's really difficult just to start what I have to say, basically, and how I can describe to you what's going on. But basically, this initiative is in response to the atrocities that have been committed in Pakistan in recent months. As many of you may have heard, there's over 1,800 Shias that have been killed just in the past 2 months. And just yesterday there were 4 bombings. So what we're asking is for our communities to unite and rise in solidarity with the victims and like their families, and speak out against these atrocities. Inshallah, we have a petition set up. There's a whole organization behind this, Al-Zahra Youth, which is coordinating it. We're also sponsoring this event. So inshallah, we'll have a petition here for you guys to sign, and it will be sent over to the UN. Our goal is about 10,000 signatures. So inshallah, we'll have a petition during, I think we have refreshments. So we'll have it for that. And it's really important that we all come together and speak out against these atrocities. So thank you for your time.
In addition to the petition sign-in sheet, there's also a sign-in sheet for the bus that will be leaving for the 10,000 Souls March. Like Lana's and Dr. Asadako has continuously announced throughout the Ashra that we need to do this. People are coming from all over the U.S., so the least we can do sitting here in New Jersey is attend this in our neighboring state. So there will be a sign-in sheet for that as well. With that is it for the youth presentations, and we'll move into the first speech by Lana, Brother Asad.